404-503-8472. Please take a listen to our other sponsors and advertisers as they do some great work, and we really appreciate you doing that. So along the way, folks, we have to pay some bills, so please take a listen to those guys and listen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday. Okay, we got through the weekend. Big week lined up. This show today, when I say we bring the best and the brightest, this is a business show unlike any other. We got friends back in the building. Okay, so who do we have with us today? So we have Heather Bailey, who is the coolest circus owner lady I know. Well, she really is the only circus lady that I know. She is the owner of Host the Sparrows. She is here. And then we have back with us again, and I don't know why I subject myself to this craziness. The one and only Mike Lee is back in the building.
Yes,
so you know what that officially makes it? The two mics are back.
Yes, sir.
And we've added Heather Bailey. She has a top hat with us, but so for our friends on Facebook, she's going to tell her story. It's interesting. We go way back to our days down in Chester. She has a cool facility that I'd done some, we came to and visited in the past. So she's here talking. Mike Lee has a friend who's calling who is a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay, he knows people.
Yeah,
He tells me he knows people.
Yes, sir.
Heather Bailey, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. How have you been?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let everyone know. Okay, so when you come to this program, you have to speak for all of the circus owners. Like Mike Lee has to speak for all the blind folks. So all of the questions that we've ever wanted to know and ask, he answers those questions.
Gotcha.
So you are going to tell us about owning a circus. I mean, it really is cool. So tell us how you got into the circus business, and then tell us about Host the Sparrows, which is a really cool facility.
So how I got into the circus business is I really started in film and television in the Peninsula area, and I moved to Richmond to go to theater school. So I spent night after night doing theater work and realized that that wasn't my thing. I wanted something that was more progressive, that was more in the times. So I went into performance art and doing things like, there's a lot of different things that I did as a performance artist, but I liked things that dealt with current events. I liked things that dealt with the artwork that was happening in performance at the time. And then I just had this vision of a performance art piece that I wanted to do in the air. And so I got myself in the air. I went to the trapeze school in New York and DC, and I signed up for 3 aerial trapeze lessons. And I flew across the air the first time.
And you were done. They had you at flying.
I was terrified. I said, what am I doing here? This is not it. But I paid for 3 lessons.
So you were going to get your money's worth.
I was. And as I was taking my 3rd lesson, I looked down and there was a girl who was climbing aerial fabrics.
What you had us do.
Yes.
Okay, that's another story.
Said,
Al? Yes, that's another story.
I said, I'm going to try that. And that's exactly what I was looking for at the time. So flying trapeze is not my thing. I really like the expressiveness of being able to get in the fabric and make the fabric talk and to move your body in it and be a little more creative than.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Heather Bailey. She is the owner of Host the Sparrows. So when you go to the events and you see the folks twirling around in those fabrics, a lot of times those are your people. That's you guys.
That is us. We are Virginia's first and Richmond's only aerial circus company.
Okay, so you guys are out there with the brightly colored fabrics, twirling, going up and down in the air. Explain to people, okay, how this is a business show. How do you turn that kind of thing into a business?
So originally I was working for I was doing it on the side as something that I just wanted to do as an artist, and the original vision I had a number of people with me in the air in my vision. So I said, well, I guess I need to teach some people how to do it because there was no one here that taught it. So I would drive to DC and Baltimore and I learned the skill to bring back. And I was working under a nonprofit at a dance theater, so I started a program there. So it was a program under the wing of a nonprofit. But we got too big for our britches and we got a waiting list and more people wanted to come. So we moved into an LLC model so that we could start teaching more people. And then I started teaching teachers. So now I have a number of teachers who teach this with me. So the business model just made a lot of sense at the time.
And you guys tell folks where you're located.
Right now we're located at Plant Zero Art Studios. It's 00 East 4th Street over near Art Space and Artworks on South Side.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, when you see the folks up in the air, so I got to give a shout out to the ladies from Style and RVA, my TV show, because we went there and they did it. Shout out to Sharon Oliver, Nicole Reed, Jenna Bush, Jill Irwin, and Jen Stannard. They all went, and I did something.
That's what I want to know. Did you do it? That was my question.
Heather, I did something, right?
Yeah, he did something.
What'd he do,
He
Heather?
did something.
What'd
He
he
showed
do?
up in his sweatpants,
Oh,
ready to work.
That's it. I love it.
yes, I that was my contribution. And then I was holding myself up with something. So explain to people the steps when they are on the ground. Explain to people how you teach them to become when they see folks twirling around in the fabrics.
So what's cool about fabrics is we get all kinds of people who come in, and they come in for different reasons. Some people want a fun, challenging workout. Some people have dreams of performing. Some people just want to get over their fear of heights. We had a Sufi come in, 74 years old, who just wanted to be able to whirl in the fabric.
You had a what come in?
A Sufi dancer. They're the Turkish dancers that wear the big skirts and twirl.
Okay, Al Green, Sufi dancer. Mike Lee knows a lot of things. He's like the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
He knew what a doula was. So, Mike Lee, do you know what a Sufi?
I am familiar with what the Sufi dancer is.
You know what? I don't believe him.
Well, hey, I have no reason to lie. I'm a man of integrity. But yeah.
And you've seen things and you've done things.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so a Sufi dancer came in and wanted to learn fabrics.
And once he was able to twirl in the fabric, he was done. So what we pretty much do is find out what a person's goals are. Like, why are you here? What would you like out of it? And then we challenge people. We showcase their strengths, then we challenge the things that they need to work on. And we really start at the bottom. You start right at the bottom. We tie a little knot in the bottom of the fabric, and you just start learning how to bear weight. You learn how to feel comfortable being upside down. Some people have never been upside down.
Is there an age range?
No. Well, we start around 6 years old.
Okay.
You know, old enough that we're not babysitting and running to the bathroom all the time.
Yeah, gotcha.
But, yeah, 6, and my oldest student was 74.
Wow.
I had a woman in her 70s that joined us for a little while, and then she went on to be an aerial yoga teacher
Okay.
out of our program.
An aerial yoga teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the time is 1:17. The program's On the Mic with Mike. Heather Bailey, Mike Lee here. We're just talking about the circus. And when you tell people that you own a circus, what's the look on their face?
A lot of people think it's a joke.
I know.
They're like, oh, yeah, sure you do, right.
Like I'm saying, we're going to turn this place into a circus.
I'm with it.
Oh, no, the lady from the circus is here. So, and so you guys also do a lot of work in the community. I know you do. Talk a little bit about the commitment to the community and the things that you guys do. You got to toot your own horn some.
Oh, okay. Well, host of Sparrows Aerial Circus. What a host is the bird grouping for a group of sparrows, like a murder of crows or a gaggle of geese or a...
You told me that the last time because I had no idea what a host was.
And when we started this program, I really liked the name because the people who came were just your average, everyday people in the community. They were people who were teachers and makeup artists and waitresses and all of that. And so it's like the people in your neighborhood. I know that's kind of cliche,
It's
but...
beautiful though.
But the idea of, like, the sparrow is a common bird, but when everyone learns how to use their wings, they can all fly beautifully. So we try to take this out into the community. We work with a lot of people who otherwise would never have a chance to do things like this. I come from a background where I didn't have opportunity or dance lessons or any of those kind of things. So it's just as exciting for me to see adults dance for the first time or do something like this for the first time as it is to see kids do it. Mm-hmm. So we do farmers markets. We go out into the farmers markets and we showcase what we do, but we also do nonprofit events. We work with Family Lifeline Services. We work with different youth and addiction. We work with organizations that work with people who are dealing with depression. So there's a lot of different nonprofit organizations. We work with Spark Live Art. We work with kids of all abilities to create a show with the Mraz Foundation. So that's kind of what it was supposed to be about in the first place. And so one of the things that we struggle with as a business, as you can imagine, is if we do free stuff all the time or discounted stuff all the time, it kind of cuts into what we can pay our teachers and being able to provide these services. So starting 2021, we're starting our nonprofit to help provide scholarships and to provide funding for nonprofits to get event services.
So even when you do that, you're still going to need the support of the community and businesses to offer the help, so that, because you'll never be able to really, I guess, pay the teachers and folks that you need, even on the nonprofit side. So one of the things that we'll do here is you stay in contact with us. We'll keep the word out there. Now that we know it's a host of sparrows
Host of sparrows,
and a murder of
crows,
And a gaggle of
geese.
let's say it.
the murder of crows is kind of like the one that kind of gets like, man, they're like, why did we get to be?
Well,
So
a lot
vicious.
of these, you'll like this, a lot of these references, even though they're the grouping names for different animals, you can go and there's like, I forget what a hippos are called, but they're fun. A lot of them come from their first use in literature.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
science has picked that up of their first use of what you would call a group of something.
See, Mike, that's why you come to On the Mic with Mike. It's
Knowledge.
educational.
That's knowledge I can share in the future.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
You'll pull that out somewhere.
I will.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, he will. Ladies and gentlemen, at times 121, Mike King, Heather Bailey, Mike Lee here, talking. I don't know what we're talking about. Please come back. We're going to go to break. This is the best business show in the area. On the Mic with Mike. We're here daily with you from 1 to 3 FM, WJFN, 100.7. 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. It's Monday. I'm sorry. We'll talk to you in a minute.
Or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi, my name is Daquan Woodbury, also known as Chef DQ. The restaurant industry is going through a hard time right now. With COVID-19, a lot of things are going on. Restaurants are shutting down. They might have to even close their doors for good. In the past few months, we've seen how life can change dramatically in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, I've created a system, a proven system, that allows restaurants to stay successful in this new way of life. As the owner of RVA Cafe, I would love to help you through these challenging times. Go to redindigofood.com for more information.
Hi everyone, it's Pavi Leitner, the CEO and founder of Finlit and your family's certified financial educator, dedicated to the financial success of you and your family. Are you not sure where to start with your finances? Or are you looking to sign your middle schooler up for our virtual camp? Book us at www.finlitva.com. That is www.finlitva.com. Finlit is creating a money-conscious community.
Chris Ship here with Focus Floors, and we are offering a free upgrade in any Bona water-based poly for any job that gets put on our schedule. You can reach us at focushardwoodflooring.com or just check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, Focus Floors 804, Instagram 80floors. Thank you.
Mike King here, host of On the Mic with Mike.
And I'm Paula, the host of Modern Love.
You can find us together 1:30 on Fridays as
We talk about all things love. We talk about how modern matchmaking works. We talk about getting into a healthy, real relationship.
Stop swiping left and right and learn how to find love in all the right places. Paula Pardell, Modern Love Friday, exclusively on the Mic with Mike, and only heard here on WJFN 92.7 and 100.5 FM.
Mike King isn't a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show, On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
David Bowie to smooth jazz. It's a music show, too.
It is a music show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here on the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the area. I'm here, Heather Bailey from host of Sparrows, Mike Lee. It's the two Mikes and Heather. So we're here talking business, life, and everything in between. Heather, what has COVID done to you guys for as far as running the business? And now that you're bouncing back, and you were able to survive with some of the help with the government was able to come through, correct?
Yes. We have a little bit of a merge. We have different revenue streams for the business. One is the performing aspect, going out, and we get hired for corporate and nonprofit community events as well. All those were canceled because they were big gatherings. We worked with the Richmond Symphony. We had one with them. We just had a number of gigs, and they were just shut down. The classes, we have a very tiny space. So with the COVID restrictions of having to have 10 feet between people, well, at first we were shelter in place, but having to have 10 feet between people, that makes it so that we could have one teacher and 2 students in the space.
Wow.
So we weren't sure how we were going to work that. We actually had to rearrange our space and do a lot of stuff with that. And we are open and we're full because we are working off the people who supported us. No one asked for refunds. They're like, hang in there, keep the money, we'll, help you get through. And so we didn't have any refunds on our packages, so we're making good on that. And then the granting process, we got the Richmond Recovers grant as well as Virginia Rebuilds, and those things helped pay for our insurance. Is expensive.
I can imagine.
We are an acrobatic school, so just like gymnastics or circus.
That's the disclaimer when I walked in your house and said you're going to sign this piece of paper.
Exactly. That's my insurance company. So we have that. We also had to work with our insurance company. They had to change some of the wording because there's a whole thing that comes in with the risks. Having classes with something like COVID happening. So circus has this extra level of safety built in because we look out for each other. We hold each other's body weight literally. So there's all of these codes that we live by for safety in aerial arts and risk management. And we spent a lot of time with the national community. We were on Zoom meetings with theater young educators for audiences and all kinds of people saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? How are you? What are the safety things that that are happening in your classes? And working with people who were biologists, people who work with viruses, people like, what can we use on our equipment that's going to keep our equipment safe, that doesn't degrade the fabric that you hang on, but also will sterilize it or sanitize it. So there's a lot of levels that went into
that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot when you don't think about all of the things that it takes that we didn't think about 8 months ago or 9 months ago.
Mm-mm.
And all those add additional costs.
They do. They do.
And stressors, too.
And stressors.
Yeah.
A lot more work for a lot less. Lot less being able to serve a lot less, for sure.
Heather, speaking of that, somebody being in your position where you're providing a space and an opportunity for people to grow and people to learn more about themselves, right? You haven't always been in this space, right? So we have a connection to Hampton and Newport News. So I want people, what I try to bring out when I talk to people is we've all been through something, right? We all have a story.
Yes.
So I want people to hear, kind of what I've heard a little bit about it, but can you tell people where you've come from and what you had to overcome to get to where you are now?
Well, interesting thing is I come from situations where I didn't have a lot of opportunities. I grew up in Newport News. I left home at 16. I was homeless for a little while. Ended up supporting myself mostly through the restaurant industry, waiting tables, doing things like that. I had a woman who saw something in me and took me in and traded me work in her studio for acting classes.
Wow.
So I went to the Actors Place. Sylvia Harmon took me under her wing and taught me the Sanford Meisner film acting technique. I ended up working in film and television in the Peninsula became a talent agent for a while, and then just really wanted to continue to grow in art and ended up moving to Richmond in theater. Taking at VCU, I got my degree, BFA in theater.
Amazing.
Shout out to, so it's a shout out to people who someone helped you, and that's the idea that you've done. So the time is 1:30. We're going to have to go away in just a moment. Heather, Mike Lee, we have a guest. Heather's going to hang with us.
Let's do it.
Heather's going to hang with us. Mike Lee has a guest who we're going to, as soon as we come back from the break, we will talk to Mike Trent. Lord knows what's going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up.
It'll be fun.
This is going to be fun. We will be back in just a moment.
Do you want a crystal clear picture of your finances? Dial 804-601-0532 and schedule your free financial review with Crystal Clear Financial Solutions. Find us online at crystalclearfinancialsolutions.com.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I'm Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. You need to make a strategic decision about which state, city, and neighborhood you choose to start your business. Your business location determines the taxes, zoning laws, and regulations. Research the best place. You need to register your business, pay taxes, obtain licenses and permits from your location of choice. Location should depend on your target market, partners, and preferences. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Mike King here, host of On the Mic with Mike.
And I'm Paula, the host of Modern Love.
You can find us together 1:30 on Fridays as
We talk about all things love. We talk about how modern matchmaking works. We talk about getting into a healthy, real relationship.
Stop swiping left and right and learn how to find love in all the right places. Paula Pardell, Modern Love Friday, exclusively on the Mic with Mike, and only heard here on WJFN 92.7 and 100.5 FM.
Hi, my name is Daquan Woodbury, also known as Chef DQ. The restaurant industry is going through a hard time right now. With COVID-19, a lot of things are going on. Restaurants are shutting down. They might have to even close their doors for good. In the past few months, we've seen how life can change dramatically in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, I've created a system, a proven system, that allows restaurants to stay successful in this new way of life. As the owner of RVA Cafe, I would love to help you through these challenging times. Go to redindigofood.com for more information.
Thank you, attorneys Justin Lauder and Chris Gatewood at Threshold Counsel PC for sponsoring this program. They offer startup, business, and intellectual property services for innovative and growing organizations. You can find them online at threshold.cc.
Mike with Mike. From Michael Mike's. From the Michael Mike's. Michael Mike's. My name is Isabella and you're listening to Mike King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
On the Mic with Mike, 1:34 is the time, WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. Mike King, Heather Bailey, Mike Lee. We're here. This is the place where the game changers come to talk. So we got the most interesting man in the world, a lady who owns a circus. And now, Mike Lee, I'm going to leave it to you to introduce your guest.
Yes, sir. This is my guy, for those of you who don't know, my guy, Troy Bowser. So a lot of you have heard me speak before, and I told you there was a gentleman that I met at my school for the blind here in Richmond when I was in a dark place that basically taught me that being blind didn't mean it was a death sentence. It didn't mean life was over. This guy showed me how to live. He's a good man. I'm going to allow him to share his story. Allow Heather and Mike to ask him a couple questions. So, Troy, it's good to hear your voice. Good to see you, brother.
Big Mike, Lee in the flesh.
My
What's
man.
up, baby boy? How you doing, man?
I love you, brother. It's good to hear your voice. I know a lot of people want to understand why I always say it's good to see you. Two blind men saying it's good to see you.
You know what?
Yeah.
Mr. Bowser, as I told Mike Lee, we don't know and can ask many blind people a lot of questions. So you guys are speaking for all visually impaired.
Yeah.
So explain to us why you say that.
For me, I say it because I see his spirit. I see who he is as a man. So every time I see him, I say it's good to see you, brother. Because it's always, even though we're on the phone, it's good to see him because I feel him. It's my guy, man.
Right.
Good man.
I just say it because it's the right thing to say.
I do have a question about that. Like, is that something that someone would say that's always been blind, or somebody who has seen before?
And Troy, I'll give you the floor. You got it, brother.
All right. Well, from my standpoint, being that I've seen before, it comes sort of natural to me. But the thing is, when I walk up to somebody, they be like, "No, I haven't seen in a long time per se." They'd be like, "Oh yeah, Troy, it's nice to see you." Then I'd be like, "Yeah, it's nice to see you too." But then they immediately start laughing, and I don't know why.
Well, now I'm gonna say why. It's like it's kind of odd. The man is blind, and then he's telling he can see me.
Right. Well, I just think it's the politically correct thing to say.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, can you talk?
I try telling people, yeah, it's nice to hear you too, but they don't really get it.
So, Troy, can you tell us? So, Mike Lee meets you, and he says he's in a dark place. Tell a little bit about what you brought to him, and how you got to that yourself.
All right. Well, let me tell you. See, Mike only telling one side of the story, because Mike ain't telling what he brought to the table. You see, when I met Mike, it was at the Rehab Center for the Blind. And before he was coming, everybody was talking about him, like, Mike Lee is coming, Mike Lee is coming. But I'm like, who is Mike Lee?
That's what I want to know. So why is Mike Lee a big deal and he coming?
Right. I thought he was like a king, the top blind dude or something. I ain't know. So when I actually meet Mike, we at the Rehab Center, we on break, and he's outside, and I walk outside, and I'm like, Mike. He like, he was over there at the bench. So I walk over there to him, and, I shake his hand, introduce myself, and we just started talking. And then I found out he was from Hampton. But what's really interesting about Mike is that the way that he became blind and the way I became blind is so similar. And for me to have met him at that time, going through what I was going through, because I thought I was the only person in the world that was going through something like that. But to meet somebody who was actually going through it with me was a whole different spin on what can happen in life. You know what I'm saying? And how you present yourself. And when Mike presented himself, he presented himself with confidence, comedy, and we just hit it off.
Could you tell the people, like, briefly what happened to you and how you got to your school for the blind or the school for the blind, Troy?
All right. Well, when I was 18, I was a victim of a gunshot shooting, in which after it was over, I was shot twice in the head, which I was in a coma for about 4.5 weeks, and when I woke up, I was blind. And it's blunt to say it like that, but in a nutshell, that's what happened. And dealing with the fact that I have the lifestyle I was living at that time was very, Mike, what's the word I'm looking for?
Precarious.
Precarious. Or as the young people say, ratchet.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can say that. We can say it was very ratchet, and there was a lot of hustling involved and a lot of money involved. And so my initial thought waking up in the hospital was, what am I going to do now? You know what I'm saying? Because I was used to making my income a certain way and used to doing certain things that I was no longer able to do. And being in the hospital, I remember making the decision to myself that either I'm going to let this blind thing either make me or I'm going to let it break me. And the determination I put in and the people that God put in my life to help me along the way, put me to where I am today. But to get to the rehab center, I was the first blind person I ever met, so I didn't really know how to act.
You didn't know what to... See, you're the reason why we're asking you guys these questions.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
So I didn't really know how to, what to do, how to act. I didn't have nobody I could, ask questions to or nothing, so it was like just going along with it. And when I got out of the hospital, the lady from the Department for the Blind and Vision Impaired come to see me, and she's telling me all about, the Rehab Center for the Blind up in Richmond and everything, and how they can help me learn how to survive as a blind man. To do things on my own, cook, clean, take care of the necessities. And I was willing to go, and I got to the hospital in October '95. In January '96, I went straight to the rehab center. So I really had no time to dwell or get down or nothing like that. So, and I just sort of carried that with me all the way through, and then just sort of.
Yeah. Troy, because I know Mike's about to get at you. I hear his mind turning over there, but
you know it is.
Yeah, I just want you to explain to people one thing that resonated with me. One time we talked about what forgiveness was, forgiving ourselves and forgiving other people. So I want you to tell people how you got to a point where you could forgive the people who shot you and led you to your blindness.
Well, the whole situation with me getting shot was had a conflict. I'm trying to be radio friendly here.
Right, thank you. The license appreciates it.
Yes.
I had a conflict with a fellow hustler that I once knew. And we got to beefing one time when it was this. I'm just going to be real. You can edit it however you want.
We can't edit it. This is live radio.
Yeah, you're live. So, yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? Me being a hustler and doing what I was doing, it was a season where, things got really short around here. And me and my connection, we got to beefing over a pack that was supposed to be.
Oh, Troy, we don't need all that. We don't need it. We don't need the pack.
We got to beef it. We got to beef it.
Yeah, you got to edit this guy.
The dude shot me. Actually, I knew him very well.
Right.
But I couldn't be mad at him because if I was in that position, I would have shot me too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so here, let's get to how you got to the mindset. We're going to leave you and your competitor. We're going to leave that. We're going to leave that alone because this is a business show. Therapy starts at 3:30.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here, all right. Tell us a little bit about. We hear that you're a comedian as well.
Yeah. Well,
how did you get to be a comedian, Mr. Funny Man? Were you always funny?
No. Well, I don't know. I always had the gift to bring people laughter and joy, so I love doing that. But it was this young lady that I was dating one time, and she was a comedian. And she took me to one of her shows one time.
Okay, wait a second. Heather, did you just hear what the man said?
Yeah, I did.
So he's a blind man dating a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how did that work out?
It was funny.
I bet it was.
it was funny because, she was real cute. And everybody used to wonder how me, the blind dude who never seen her, can get a girl so cute. And I was just like, I got this thing called blind intuition. You wouldn't explain it you wouldn't understand it unless you was blind.
So, can I ask you? So, Mike Lee, do you have that same ability?
Possibly. I think I look better than he does, though. I'm not sure.
But I just want to know what's up with you blind guys that's running around thinking that you guys are just it totally.
Hey, life is good, man. Life is good. Life is good. For me, and I'm sure Troy can attest to this. For me, we were down for so long and we're in such a dark place, and it's just about, like, for me, it was about meeting him and realizing, like, yo, this could be cool. Like, we can enjoy ourselves, and it came out of that. But I will say, I've had the same issues that Troy's had. Being with a young lady who's attractive, people would assume either I'm not blind or there's no way that can
exactly
be.
knew or
There's no
something
way that
like
can
that.
happen, right? Because just because I'm somebody who's visually impaired doesn't mean I can't be with somebody who's attractive across the board as far as physically attractive. But what I found is I'm more attracted to people. You may see me with somebody I would maybe not have been with when I could see because of who they are as a person and spirit too. It just happens that sometimes they meld together and it works out, which is a good thing, right?
Sure. So, Troy, as are you a lot different than you were before when you had sight?
Yes, I am. I'm a more outgoing. I'm a more people person. I'm more just love life. I can see life for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate a lot of things that people take for granted now.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
that is true because Mike Lee told us that he looked at the Mona Lisa for 3 hours, and I tried to explain to the man that you can't see.
Yeah.
So what were you doing there for 3 hours?
So for me, it was the totality of the experience, right? So when I saw the Mona Lisa when I could see, I told you I looked at it for like less than 10 minutes, right? I looked at it, said it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, and I walked away. But the second time going back visually impaired, it was just so much energy in the room. I heard all these different languages. I heard so many people talking. I heard the cameras flashing. Like, so when I could see, I took all of that for granted. It was only like just me and Mona Lisa in that room at that time. So I appreciated the moment, but I walked away from it. So Troy can tell you we've had experiences since we've been blind that have been life altering and life changing. And what Troy didn't tell you is he talked about his past life, but you know he's written music, he's made songs, he's had a beautiful son, he's done all of these things, he's done things for his community. So his life has totally changed from where he was, but it took having something taken away from us to get that.
Right. To appreciate it. And you know, it's right because the way I got blind and everything, when I first got to the hospital, my auntie actually invited me to talk to her youth group at a church. And I did my first motivational speaking there. And I enjoyed it so much. It was crazy, Mike. I remember sharing that with you when we first met because you told me you do motivational speaking.
Absolutely.
And matter of fact, we did one together in Baltimore. You remember that?
We did. Came up to Baltimore to see me. We crushed it. Yeah.
And that motivation speaking to be able to get back to the community just to teach someone that lifestyle is not where it seems to be where it can lead you. The money, the flashy cars, that's not worth what's at risk. You understand what I'm saying? And I explained that to the youth in a way that they can understand it. And even to this day, when they older now, because that was way back in like 95, 96, 97. But even when they see me to this day now, they always say, well, you know, it's just good to, like we were talking earlier, it's good to see you because I know when you talked to me when I was a kid, you gave me so much, you know what I'm saying? So much to think about.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, giving back and letting. It wasn't about telling them not to do this, not to do that, but it's the fact that I can use myself as an example. I'm sitting here standing in front of you. Yeah. You can see me. This is what this can end up to you as. Not saying it's a bad thing, but we don't want this for no one. Not the way we had it, you know what I'm saying? We have to experience this.
Yeah.
And that's we try to I try to give back to the youth and to people I've talked to that it's not worth it.
So all three of you guys are creative people. So Heather, talk a little bit about creativity. And you talked about like the community holding folks together. And these two gentlemen come from, there's a community of visually impaired people. Talk about what community means. And like you said, someone came and helped you at a tough time. And that's what I see you doing. I know when I popped up in your thing, you know, in DM, hey, my name's Mike King, would you like to come on my radio program? Because I had seen what you were doing. Talk a little bit about community and creativity along with these gentlemen.
So, with Host of Sparrows, the idea behind it was a community-based circus company. So we're not trying to perform in other states and other cities. We're trying to work in our community. And originally we started, before I was a business, we started in the art community. We weren't making money. We were performing and we were creating and we were teaching each other, but we weren't doing it as a business at the time. And the goal was really to include people who otherwise would not have these opportunities when we actually started getting to the training part of the program. And you know, because of my background and not having those opportunities, I felt like it was a good way for me to give back. But what's interesting is that a lot of people that had joined us over that period of time also worked with with youth, for example, at in behavioral services, or with autism, or with all of these different things. So we really put a lot of focus on who is in our community, who wants to be a part of this, how do we include as many people as we can who want to be a part of this, no matter whether they can afford classes or if they have physical challenges or mental challenges or health challenges. Like, what can we do? For example, we have 15 performers out of this program after 10 years. 3 are deaf. We have our performers have MS. Our teachers have MS. They have EDS. They have all of these different challenges with their health and genetics and things where people have told them they can't do this.
And they're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. So we work with, our next thing that we were going to do is work with our local wounded warriors. So some of our teachers just studied with a woman who has a great community in Montreal where she has a school. She lost her leg. She was a circus performer. So she teaches a program called Flying Footless. How to help people
Of course. Flying Footless.
Yeah.
Yep, how to help people, how to deal with people who may have other physical issues, and how to be inclusive, and how to do it in a way that's safe for them but also respectful. And so we're finding all of these ways, but it's all to bring it here. It's all to bring it to Richmond. Like, a lot of people have told me, with our issues of not being able to find space in Richmond, they're like, what about Verina? I'm not here for Verina. Like, I'd have to start over. This is for Richmond. My first 3 art grants through CultureWorks were to bring circus to the Richmond community. And we still try to hold true to that because they're the ones that helped us, buy our first circus equipment and our safety mats, and gave me teacher training and how to rig myself safely and keep others safe in the air. So I think as far as community goes, our circus has only been really about that this whole time.
The time is 1:52. Heather Bailey, Troy, Mike Lee here. Shout out to Culture Work. Shout out to
Yes.
Scott and Aaron out there.
Certainly,
So,
yes.
they're
We wouldn't
doing-
be here without them.
They're doing some great things. We got to go away and take a break. We will be back shortly. Troy, can you hold on with us?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. We'll be back in just a moment.
Before and after the salon has been active in the Richmond, Virginia community, providing hairstyling services for over 10 years. Before and After is located in downtown Richmond at 1917 West Carey Street. Specializing in weaves, extensions, and growing healthy hair, Before and After provides a full suite of hair care services. Expert stylists Michelle Smith and Alicia Clark are well trained to meet your styling needs at Before and After the salon.
Are you tired of dating online? Bloom Matchmaking offers a safe and effective alternative. Every match is vetted and background checked. Bloom Matchmaking offers a personalized experience just for you. Check us out at bloommatchmaking.com or give us a call at 804-205-5063. Let Bloom take the stress out of dating. Mention On the Mic with Mike and receive 20% off. That number again is 804-205-5063. Bloom Matchmaking, where love grows.
Does your home need a makeover? If so, refresh with quality with LA Labor and Painting, LLC. They make your home sparkle and be the envy of the community. They are masters at interior and exterior painting, drywall. They clean decks. They landscape and remove items you wish were gone. The bottom line is, they refresh with quality, provide professional service, and follow all guidelines regarding COVID-19. Call today to make your home sparkle. You can reach LA Labor by calling 804-972-8014. Call today for the On the Mic with Mike discount. When you mention the program, you'll receive 20% off of the beautification of your most prized possession. Call LA Labor and Painting today at 804-972-8014.
Are you experiencing difficulties with paying your mortgage or bringing your mortgage current? If so, we can help. Give Neighborhood Home and Assistance a call at 1-800-441-6872 or text 757-951-3048 for the immediate response. We have over 10 years of mortgage experience working with some of the largest mortgage corporations in America. For more information, visit neighborhoodhomeassistance.com to schedule your free over-the-phone consultation. Remember, time is one thing we can't get back, and your home is your investment. Act fast.
Dessert Diva RVA. Specialty boutique with specialty products, providing custom experiences. Our dessert boutique is open on the weekends. Every dessert made from scratch. We also offer date nights and event decor. Dessert Diva RVA, the official home of Party in a Box.
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day at 1 p.m.
That's what I do!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. You heard 44. He's going to be back in the building down on in D.C. starting on the 20th more. There'll be a lot more friendlier folks there. So President number 44 will be back. He'll be back in Washington on a more regular basis. We're here with On the Mic with Mike, WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with us. On the line, we have Troy. Troy Bowser, are you still there with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mike Lee said you're a comedian and you're funny. So now here, Heather, you told us that she had worked at the Waffle House.
Right.
Status is more than COVID.
Right, the Waffle House next door, and there's a Hooters, and you kind of think it's crazy that you'd rather work at the Hooters than the Waffle House, from what I've heard. Is that true, sir?
I would rather work at the Hooters than the Waffle House.
And she worked at the one on Mercury, too, Troy.
Oh, the one on Mercury.
Yes,
Third
sir.
shift.
Third shift, no less.
Let me ask her this. I will ask you this. What do you look like?
What are you talking about?
Is that...
I would want to work at. I would want to work at, right? You know, Hooters the Waffle House.
This is back in 97.
So what is, okay, you're a comedian. Are you working as a comedian? Do you go up and give us a little bit of funny if you can? Now that's off the top.
All right, right off the top. All right, well, yeah, I am a comedian and I do shows. I've been at the Funny Bone of Virginia Beach. I've been at Cosby's, the Newport News, little other venues like the train station and things like that. But when this COVID thing first started out, you know, everything really slowed down. And I was at the bus stop one time, and this girl, she walked up to me. She was like, you know, you shouldn't be out here. And at first, I'm trying to figure out who she's talking to. Then she's like, no, I'm talking to you with the stick. And I guess she was talking to me, the blind guy. So I'm like, what you say? She said, well, I said, you shouldn't be out here. And I'm like, why? She's like, because you got an underlying condition. Now, I thought she was like a psychic or something because she knew something I didn't know about me, right? So she gonna tell me, yeah, you got this underlying condition. I say, well, what I got? She gonna say, well, you blind. I say, well, being blind is not an underlying condition, man. I don't understand what she was telling about that. So I went on to do what I had to do, because later on that day, I had a date with this other blind girl that I had met downtown Newport News. And it was funny because me and the blind girl was going to meet at the movie. And we met at the movie, and everything was real cool. Everything, we had a good time. We met in the lobby, we got inside the right movie, and we got a discount. Because, you know, we're not going to see the movie, we actually just going to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So when we get inside the movie, everything is cool. You know, we sitting there, and it's about like 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, then she going to lean over and ask me what happened. And I looked at her and said, your guess is just as good as mine. I don't know what happened. You blind, I'm blind, I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here.
Wait, Troy, can you hold, we got to go away for a little bit. Can you hold, because you got to tell us two blind folks going to a date at the movie theater.
It's natural.
No, sir, it is not
It's
natural.
natural, man. Me and Troy used to go to the movies. It's cool.
Okay, all right, the time's 1:59. On the mic with Mike, Heather Bailey, host the Sparrows, Mike Lee, Troy. We got to go away for a little bit, and we will be back on the other side. Thanks.
All right.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Even as Moderna says it will ask U.S. and European regulators today to allow emergency use of its COVID-19 vaccine, counties across California will begin stricter COVID-19 restrictions as the cases surge statewide. Correspondent Shelley Adler reports.
Los Angeles County Public Health Director Barbara Ferrer on KMBC says they are very concerned about overwhelmed doctors and nurses.
Can we keep the healthcare workforce well enough and not overtaxed so that they can continue to provide the very excellent care they're all providing right now?
The Los Angeles County lockdown will close playgrounds, which parent Emma Gutierrez told KNBC she understands.
We've been keeping an eye on the numbers. I know that's starkly up. So it just seems like the right thing to do is to go back to the safety measures.
Which calls for some 10 million residents to not gather with people outside their household for public or private occasions. I'm Shelley Adler.
Also at townhall.com, Congress is returning to Washington for one last attempt at deal-making this year. The only absolute must-do is preventing a government shutdown on December 11th. But lawmakers are also debating whether to deliver another round of coronavirus relief. They're still adding up the Black Friday weekend sales.
Final figures from this year's Black Friday weekend are still being tallied up, but retailers hope they'll bring holiday cheer to their bottom lines. Clothing stores had fewer items to sell, which translated into higher prices for consumers. But with Thanksgiving travel plans curtailed this year, merchants are hoping people will channel their holiday good wishes into presents for family.
That's correspondent Bob Agnew reporting. Stocks remain in the red. The Dow off 377 points, the NASDAQ 36 points lower. More at townhall.com.
Investors, are you seeking steady cash flow? Are you ready to diversify? NRIA has grown to be one of the nation's leading specialists and offers 10% annualized monthly payouts and bonuses targeted 18 to 21%. That's right. You could receive steady 10% monthly payments with bonuses. As their slogan says, they specialize in realty investing done right. You can even use your 401k or IRA to invest. NRIA's 15-year track record and $1.2 billion in new construction development backs you. Learn how you can invest in this hard asset real estate cash flow fund today and receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses. This is something savvy investors should research and consider. Call now 800-700-5483, 800-700-5483, or visit NRIA.net.
An offer to buy or sell any security is only made by our private placement memorandum. Read it first. See us at nria.net.
Officials say at least 8 people have been killed, 52 injured after a prison riot in Sri Lanka, which saw guards clash with the inmates.
The rioting broke out late on Sunday and continued through the night. At one stage, part of the building caught fire. Then prisoners started to break through the perimeter to escape. Police commandos are now forming a cordon to stop them. It's the most serious in a spate of recent protests at the island's prisons. Inmates are angry about outbreaks of the coronavirus in overcrowded jails. A senior government official now says more than 600 convicted of minor offences will be pardoned and released. But that will only help a little for a population of around 26,000.
BBC correspondent Jill McGivering. France resuming collection of a special tax on big tech companies like Amazon and Facebook, despite the threat of U.S. retaliatory tariffs on French champagne, cheese, handbags, and other goods. Big tech must pay the tax by the end of the year. Breaking news at townhall.com. Texas health officials reporting 6,041 newly confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 48 more deaths linked to the virus. The pandemic continued to put pressure on state hospitals. The Texas Department of State Health Services says more than 8,600 Texans were hospitalized with COVID-19 on Sunday. In El Paso, though, the good news, the virus surge may finally be plateauing. Merriam-Webster's 2020 Word of the Year has been unveiled.
Pandemic rose to the top in March when the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus a pandemic. Interest in the word on the company's website, Merriam-Webster.com, has been high through the year. Among the runners-up for the word of the year was Kraken, Mamba, and defund. Joe Biden's fondness for the word malarkey lifted the word to runner-up status. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
Mike King isn't a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show, On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
Oh, hello. I'm Louise Keaton from the Whistle Stop Theater Company. You're listening to On the Mic with Mike.
Every day
at 1 p.m. Cheers.
Welcome back on the Mic with Mike, WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you hanging with us today. This is a place where the game changers talk. It's a business show, but it's also about life and everything in between. We have Heather Bailey, owner of Host of Sparrows, Mike Lee, Troy Bowser, who is here, and they're talking about Troy is a blind stand-up comedian. And so, Troy, you were saying that you went on a date with a blind woman, and you went to the movie theater, and she asked you what happened.
Yeah, she asked me what happened because we were like 5-10 minutes into the movie, and, you know, when it first started off, there was a lot of action going on. And so, you know, I was just sitting there waiting on somebbut to talk in the movie. Before they did, she was like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. And then we laughed about that. All that we did, we just sit there chilling, watched the movie. It went good after that.
Okay, so when you're doing stand-up, what's it like doing stand-up and you can't see the audience? You know, I guess, you know, always wanted to ask.
Yeah. That's actually a good question, Mike, because I usually start off my comedy set with saying, you know, y'all look like the best crowd that I had never seen before. And then everybody laughs, and then I go on with my set.
Okay. That's one way to look at it. Are people okay, so what are the questions that people you know they want to ask you, but like I asked Mike Lee, how come y'all always wearing sunglasses? Now, it could be rock stars or whatever, and then he told me.
Because I'm cool.
Well, Mike's
a unique individual. He's too cool. Mike's cool. He's too smooth, Mike. He always got on glasses that match his outfit and everything. Yeah. I don't do the sunshade thing, so.
I will tell you this about Troy. This is why I think he's a sick guy. You know, Troy doesn't have eyes. So what he would do is when we were in school, he would take his eye out and say, I got my eye on you.
You know what?
That's absolutely out of control.
Out of control. Mike, that's not even funny.
Ask Troy about it. That's what he said. Out of control. Out of control. He changed the color of his eyes, too. He got different color eyes. Yeah.
No, I don't do that, Mike. Don't play that.
So, Troy, talk a little bit about COVID. Okay, so yeah, you know, we're not going to talk about COVID. Talk about the election from a comedian standpoint. Give us a couple minutes on that.
I think the election it's deeper than Trump and Biden, right? I think it's deeper than that. I think it's more of that of a power struggle versus a position struggle. Well, I guess the position holds the same power, but it's more of the current president don't want to let go of the power.
Okay, let me ask you this. As a comedian, will comedians have as much fun with Joe Biden as they've had with Donald Trump?
Yeah, just as much.
How?
Only because Joe Biden has to, as you notice, when they ask Joe Biden a question, he takes that extra 3 seconds to answer it. They'll be like, Mr. Biden, what color tie do you have on today? He'd be like, I think it's blue. And then the other guy, it's blue. My wife gave me that. You know, it's like he has to pause and think about every question. Like, he should be quick on his feet. He should be quick on his feet the way he talks. and I haven't seen him, but they say he looked like a funny dude. But I haven't really seen him, so I can't really describe him to you. But from what they tell me, Donald Trump is they tell me he's orange. I haven't seen him, but they tell me he's orange and some other things. So when they tell me these descriptions, you got to understand how I'm painting it in my mind.
Who is they? Who is they?
Yeah, we want to know who is the they, sir, that you're talking about. Who's feeding you this?
Who's telling you this information?
My friends. I'm like, cause when we watching like CNN, catching the news, whatever, I'm like, what did he look like? Like I actually like a lot of people like Hanukkah Tabera. She sounds cute, but I'm not for sure. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like little people that I listen to, and then I was like Chris Cuomo. I really like Chris Cuomo, and he's real, he sounds real stern, real straight up dude. So I'm like, what Chris Cuomo look like? They tell me, white dude, big, tall dude, whatever. And then, but when I listen to like John Lennon with a softer voice, I'm like, what he look like? And then like, well, he's a black dude. I'm like, oh, really? And then, so it's just like different descriptions of people paint different pictures of them in my mind.
Okay, can I ask you this right here? This is sir.
I get a crazy picture.
Sir, this is a technical question, I would guess. Has there been somebody that what you had in your mind that when they told you the person looked totally different? Like, what did Donald Trump look like to you if people were not telling you he was orange?
He was short. I thought he was short, a little stubby dude. No, I'm just telling you, I thought he was short and real stubby. But because rich people that I see, like I used to see back in the day, like Hugh Hefner, he's short and scrawny little dude. It's just they little people. I mean, not little people like little people. I mean, they just like scrawny and.
Did you just say little people, sir?
Yeah, he did.
He said little people. I mean, come on now, somebody. Okay, what do you think that I look like?
Mike, I think that you are about 5'7", probably bald head with a mustache. And you probably not overweight, but you slightly overweight, like you 1 kilometer away from being overweight. And
you know what we're gonna do? We're pulling the plug on you.
What do you mean slightly overweight? You said not overweight, but slightly overweight.
That's what the man said.
Like if you look at him from the side, he looks healthy, but if you turn his face to, you're like, whoa, where'd all that come from?
Okay.
Can I tell a story? I got time for a story.
Tell a story. We got business to take care of.
I got time for a story, Troy. I don't know if you remember this. Our boy Derek's birthday was today.
Yes.
This is a good guy.
Happy birthday, D.
I'll let him. He should be listening, man. So one time we went. This is how our friends use us to their advantage. So we went in D.C. one time in Georgetown shopping. Troy, Derek, he remembers the story. Troy, Derek, and I, we're shopping, having a good time. We just went to eat. So we're walking. So it's Troy. Derek's walking in between Troy and I. Troy doesn't really utilize his cane the proper way, right? So we're walking.
What does he do with the cane?
He kind of holds his cane on his side. He's supposed to put it out in front of him, but he's too cool.
But
So
when
he
I'm
put it on
with
the
the same
side.
guy, that's how they talk.
Yeah. So we're walking, and Troy runs into what's the pole called for the meter? He runs into a parking meter, smack dab into a parking meter, and we're like, oh man, that's crazy. I'm like, that's crazy, Dad. You're supposed to be watching out for us. Right after, the young lady runs up to us. She said, oh my God, you're such a good man. You're such a wonderful man. And me and Troy looking like, is she talking to me? She's talking to you. She was talking to Derek. She said, you're a great guy for taking these two blind guys out shopping. And my man said, I do what I can for the community. Troy, you remember that?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is 2:13. Troy, how can people find you and follow you on social media or whatever you do, sir?
Oh, I'm at, you can look me up on YouTube at Blind Fury Bowser. That's all one word, BLIND, and Fury is spelled with a PH, so it's PHURI.
What the heck is Blind Fury?
Blind Fury, that's my stage name, artist name, because I had put out like 4 albums, Mike. We didn't get a chance to talk about that. Yeah. But I'm a hip-hop artist because the way...
Okay, all right, real quick. Drop something on us. You're a hip-hop artist. Drop something on us, please, because, this conservative audience definitely wants to hear something.
All right,
But you got to keep it clean,
Yeah.
because you know you got history.
After the loss of my eyes, I still maintain the struggle. I stay on defense. My eyes got lost in the fumble. I still survive. It's 1 minus 5 senses. Memories of my vision got me wishing I could have it back, but only if it was the same. No microchips in my brain, and so I'd rather be blind. It was dark before light, so I'm taking it back in time, but I'm stuck like what? Am I to do now? Just give me a cane and let me walk around and explore this town to the best of my ability. Adjust to the world and make the world adjust to me. Settle for nothing less. I see it like a test, and I'm passing so far. Only thing I can't do is drive a car. Nah, I drove a car. I just didn't get far. I hit a curve. I backed up, then I swerved. I lived life to the fullest. The world still turned. It wasn't the end. Me, I just lost a few friends. And Mike, that's for you, and we gonna do it again.
Let's do it
All
again.
right,
Fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, Troy
right.
Bowser. That's Blind Fury, correct?
Yeah, BLIND PHURI That's
All right.
what it is. And
All
you
right.
can find me on YouTube driving my car. This is downtown Newport News, matter of fact.
I'm staying out of Newport News. Thank you. All right, we appreciate the time. Thanks now.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. Thank y'all.
All right, thanks. Take care. All right, really quickly before we go to break, Heather, let's talk a little bit about what you have going on and, how people can find you, and talk a little bit about how we've segued from that craziness on talking like that didn't just happen. But this is radio. So that we went from one creative to another. Let's talk a little bit about how people go into your studio and start the process to being able to fly.
So normally when people come into the studio, they come in and we ask what their goals are. Like, do they want to perform? Do they think it's pretty? Do they want to work out? What kind of goals they have, or what attracted them to the form in the first place? And then we work on achieving those goals. A lot of times we do a preliminary where we put them through some paces to see where their strengths are and what needs work, and get them upside down, get them having a lot of fun. It's a very empowering art form.
Okay.
To be able to climb up a fabric is a big deal. So the things that we do, kind of like yoga or any other art form that has different levels. It's progressive. So we just start with basics, we make them nice and strong, and then just build from there in whatever direction that people want to go.
Is it a process? Do people actually have a show at the end? Can that be done as well?
So a lot of studios are recital studios
Yes.
in this. We aren't a recital studio. What we are is more of a training program right now. We do want to offer some recital classes. We just don't have space. We are looking for a building so that we can offer more classes. We only have our space 4 days a week. So recital classes would be in the future, but what we do now is if someone has been through all the levels of our classes, that's when they can actually understudy a performer. So
Okay.
they can learn to become a performer or a teacher. So we train from within.
One of the things I always ask people when they're here, what gives you hope?
Oh, what gives me hope is when I see, right now especially with all of this going on, is people who keep calling me and texting me and saying how much they miss what we, coming to our classes, or miss our performances and miss the things that it used to do for them. We're hoping in January, as things start to open up again, we can offer more. Right now we're at capacity, having to limit our classes to being very small. So.
Cool. Heather Bailey, host of Sparrows, thanks for coming in. One last time, how can people find you?
Our website is www.hostofsparrows.com. We're also on Facebook, and we have our email is rvasparrows@gmail.com if you're interested in classes or hiring performers.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you get out. What they do is phenomenal. They do a really big job in the community, and the classes are fun. You took our folks through it, and appreciate that. It's always good catching up with Heather. She is the coolest circus lady I know. With that being said, make sure you support her, and we'll be back on the other side.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks now.
I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi, Chef Michelle here of Ma Michelle's Cafe, home of the Soul Rolls, located at 10811 Whole Street Road. Give us a call at 804-912-1644 or order online at mamichelle's.com. Ask about our off-site catering options as well as our online ordering through Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Follow us on all social media at Ma Michelle's Cafe. That's Ma Michelle's, Soul south of the James. Mention Mike on the mic and get a free dessert on us. Special rules apply.
Chris Ship here with Focus Floors, and we are offering a free upgrade in any Bono water-based poly for any job that gets put on our schedule. You can reach us at focushardwoodflooring.com or just check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, Focus Floors 804, Instagram 80 Floors. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Pavi Leitner, the CEO and founder of Finlit and your family's certified financial educator, dedicated to the financial success of you and your family. Are you not sure where to start with your finances? Or are you looking to sign your middle schooler up for our virtual camp? Book us at www.finlitva.com. That is www.finlitva.com. Finlit is creating a money-conscious community.
Welcome to your neighborhood wellness store. Your journey with wellness is our #1 priority. We can help you navigate your journey through our cold-pressed juice bar, CBD products, health and wellness products to include hemp shea butter. Relax and unwind in our Wi-Fi lounge and more. We are located at 14822 Hull Street Road or online at yes2hl.com. Phone number 804-818-2867.
Do you want a crystal clear picture of your finances? Dial 804-601-0532 and schedule your free financial review with Crystal Clear Financial Solutions. Find us online at crystalclearfinancialsolutions.com.
Thank you, attorneys Justin Lauder and Chris Gatewood at Threshold Counsel PC for sponsoring this program. They offer startup, business, and intellectual property services for innovative and growing organizations. You can find them online at threshold.cc.
This is Mike King Biz of On the Mic with Mike, and I'm here with the Dope Soap Lady.
Yes, it's the Dope Soap Lady. I got them sales. I got that BOGO, buy one, get one. Come and get this Dope Soap today.
How do people find the Dope Soap Lady?
Gina'sLove.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. We'd like to thank Heather Bailey of Host of Sparrows for coming in. Had a great time with her. It's always great catching up with the things that she's doing out in the community. It's an awesome experience when you do it. Like I said, we went over there for a TV show that I have. On the Mic with Mike, WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7 FM, 820 AM. We have Mike Lee in the building, so you know what that means. It is the two mics.
Yes, sir.
So if you'd like to question Mike Lee on some of the he is the world's most interesting man. If you'd like to talk to him, you can give us a call, 804-778-8888. Mike Lee, what's going on in the world as far as what you're doing out there?
Actually, last week, we finalized our Hopeful Dream bags. So we did 120 Hopeful Dreams bags, which we wanted to promote literacy. So we had a book in that. We had a blanket. We had a stuffed animal and some little stars so they can reach for the stars, glow in the dark stars. So we did that for Carver Elementary School, and we did that for Bellevue Elementary School.
I saw you got a shout out for that with making that happen.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about an idea of taking something and making an idea and making that happen.
Oh, it's definitely a process. First of all, for us, is to know the demographic we're working with. So we were fortunate enough. I already had the Making Men program at Bellevue, and I was already connected to Carver through 7 Leader 7 Scholars, which is a program of my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. So we already had the kids there, right? So we had 40 kids in one school and I think 80 at the other, kindergarten students. So we just made it happen. But for me, I have so many things that come through my head at any given day, right? It's about also seeing it through, right? So we thought about it. We figured out a plan. Amber helped us out with it, with as far as like purchasing all the items we needed and what do we need to get. She made the prices for everything. We also did a fundraiser too. So the community was involved and they threw a couple dollars at it and we made it happen. We were able to do that, and we also had some money left over where we were able to provide turkey baskets for families. So we provided 38 baskets for some families in the area. We also provided some baskets for, we got with the city council lady, Stephanie Lynch. She's in the 5th District. We got with Stephanie Lynch and we provided some stuff for senior citizens in the 5th District. So we're just doing what we can to give back and spread a little love in the community, especially at a time like this when people need love.
So we just talked to you and your friend Troy there, and you talked about how you come out of the other side with what you have, a better attitude, maybe not a better attitude, but there are days that you are down, but you continue to march. We're going now from Thanksgiving into Christmas. It's always a tough time on people. What advice could you give to people to how to make it right now?
Because right now, it's a lot about mental health too, right? And personal health. So it's about finding a space and finding a place where you feel whole, you feel comfortable, whether that's delving into your music, whether that's getting closer to your God, to your faith, whatever that is in that happy space for you you need to drive towards it, right? And for me, it's about me recognizing the people that came before me. My grandmother, who's no longer here, is about seeing what my grandmother did for me as a young man, what my mother did for me, what my aunt, who passed away as well. So all these people in my lives that poured into me, I don't give up because of them. Although I've been through dark times, it's also about understanding you're not the only one going through it too. Connecting with other people so you can find strength within each other. Yeah.
On the mic with Mike Lee here. This is the Two Mics, 227 WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. Mike Lee's here talking. So you are a motivational speaker.
Mm-hmm.
What makes a good motivational speaker?
For me, it's hard for me to answer that because I just try to be.
Are you a good motivational speaker?
I would like to think so, but who knows? I guess the people will have to tell you.
Well,
For me, I try to be.
If you're getting booked, I would say
yes.
Yeah, because if you're not getting booked, maybe you're not a very good motivational speaker.
But a part of that too, and this is a business show, right?
Yes.
A part of that is marketing yourself too, branding yourself, and that's what we're actually doing a little bit more of now, like revamping the website. I was kind of adverse to like getting on Instagram and all these other platforms, but I know that's a part of building my brand, so that's what we're doing now. Now you can go to MikeLeeInspires.com. At the bottom of it, you can go to my Instagram, you can go to my Facebook page, you can go to my LinkedIn, right? So it's all in one place, right? We had to streamline my website. Those are things I had to think about because being non-visual, I had a website, but I really didn't know exactly how the website looked. I had to go to other people to say, you know what, you need to change this, you need to change this to be up to date. So that's a part of business as well.
So you have a focus group, sort of. You have Amber, who's the main person, but you have a focus group that tell you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have some people that come to me and say, look, maybe this is what you need to do. And you're always going to have that. But you also have to be able to identify who's a naysayer in your life and who's actually there to uplift you and build you up. Because you're always, and I can only speak for myself, and maybe you recognize this in your life too, Mike, because you do so much for the people. But there's always somebody that kind of looks at what you're doing trying to say, I could do that better. But they haven't done it before. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful of that. they're going to be people there to support you. There are also going to be people that haven't necessarily taken the opportunity to move forward in their life, and they want you to stay where they are. And that happens. And you have to be able to recognize the difference.
On the mic with Mike, WJFN Radio. If you'd like to talk to the two mics, you can give us a call, 804-778. No, that's my number. 804-778-8888 is the number. On the mic with Mike. Mike Lee is here with us. Like I said, if you'd like to give us a shot, give us a call. We're here with you. I'm here with you 1 to 3 daily. Our friend Paula Pardell is in with us this week. She's here on Friday, but we also Heather Marie Speaks is here. Oh, you know what? We do have a call. We'd like to welcome in our friend David Powers. He is from Bell Tower Pictures. David, welcome in. Hello, David.
Mike, is that you?
That's me.
Yeah, it's really distorted. I can't hear what you're saying very well.
How about now? Is that any better?
No, same.
Okay, well, here, how about if you give us a call back? Let's work on the connection. Give us a call back in just a minute, and I'll let people know who you are and what you're calling about.
Okay, I'll call right back.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, that is David Powers. He is of Bell Tower Pictures, and they had a documentary called Herd. Mike, had you seen that?
No, I know you told me about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Herd is about people who live in housing projects of Richmond, and they're telling their story. They want to be heard. One of the people in the documentary was assaulted and has been hurt. And so David's giving us a call to give us an update and let them know like what's going on. They have a GoFundMe. So this program, as I always say to people, is sort of family. And David and Angie were here a couple weeks ago. We're also going to have them back next week. And we're going to have to talk to the cast. So, David, how's the connection now?
Hey, it's much better. Sorry about that.
There we go. All right, David Powers, Bell Tower Pictures. So, David, I just given our listeners an idea of who you are and what you do. Give folks your story and your, I guess, a synopsis, and let people know why you're calling in today.
Well, we talked, a couple of weeks ago about our documentary film Herd, which premiered on VTM back November 12th, and it's available for streaming now at vtm.org/herd. It's the story of a group of folks who grew up in the public housing communities in Richmond, and it's the stories of their survival and thriving because of what they had to endure growing up in the projects. And one of the folks in the film, Vaughn Johnson, is a remarkable man. He's has been doing really well for himself. He's a barber, got his barber's license while he was incarcerated, came out, and for the last 10 years he's been doing really well as a barber and really doing a lot giving back to his community. Put together a big community day for Mosby Court and works with folks who are just coming back into society from being incarcerated. Really active, stays busy all the time trying to help folks, mentor young people. Well, Vaughn had an unfortunate thing happen 2 days before Thanksgiving. He was actually trying to serve as a peacemaker between some folks and got blindsided and pistol whipped, broke his jaw, really bad shape. Ended up spending 3 nights in the hospital, 2 surgeries. He's at home now, doing a little better, still having a lot of pain, but he makes his living as a barber, and he can't cut hair now for several weeks. His jaw is wired shut and will be for 6 weeks, and so he's at a very, very bad time of the year here. He's out of work and having a tough time. So we've gotten to know and love Vaughn, and so we asked him if we could help him out, and he was very reluctant. He's never asked us for any help at all. My sense he doesn't ask too many people for help. But we talked to him and said, a lot of folks love you and want to help you out, and could we do a little GoFundMe campaign just to raise a little money to help you out? He doesn't have any health insurance, out of work, expenses are piling up, and he reluctantly agreed. So we launched a little GoFundMe campaign last night, and it's off to a good start. Goodness, we're set a goal of $5,000, and we're almost halfway there. It's not even 24 hours yet. So apparently a lot of folks feel the same way about Vaughn.
I guess for people who had seen, so if you hadn't seen the documentary, folks, I mean, it's awesome. And the work that you guys have done, it's been well received. And what Vaughn was doing, he's changed his life and unforeseen circumstances here. So it's great that you guys are stepping in. How can people find that GoFundMe to go ahead if they'd like to help?
Well, thank you for asking. Yeah, it's on the GoFundMe platform, and you can enter. You can go to a lot of places. You can go directly to it. GoFundMe.com /F/help Vaughn through this crisis. GoFundMe.com /F help Vaughn through this crisis. Or you can go to the Bell Tower Pictures Facebook page. So you just go to Facebook, Bell Tower Pictures, and there's a link to it right there on the Bell Tower Pictures. That's probably easier to remember.
All right. So, David, you guys are you guys are in with us next week. Hopefully, at that time, Vaughn will be able to join us and talk a little bit about, because he played a very big part in the documentary. Give our listeners a little bit of an idea how the documentary has been received.
Oh man, it's really beyond our wildest expectations. VPM has done a really good job of promoting it, and they've done a lot of social media stuff and other things. So it got really good numbers on Facebook. They did a Facebook Live simulcast, I guess you would call it, the night that it premiered on the air, and it was roughly 4 times the audience they normally have for a Facebook Live. The numbers for the broadcast are looking good. It's aired a couple of 3 more, maybe 4 more times on the air since then. They are making it available to public TV stations, PBS stations around the country through the American Public Television Marketplace. That went out last week before last, and getting good response. We expect that it'll be on PBS stations nationwide in February. So the response is good. We're doing getting a lot of requests from different organizations and schools to do question and answer, panel discussions. I think at least one of the folks in the film has been on a panel discussion every day since the thing aired. So
wow.
It's going strong. We got one tonight with the University of Richmond class. We got one tomorrow afternoon with the VCU Medical Students Association. They want to connect and kind of hear some stories, and because these folks are going to be working in hospitals and offices around the country when they finish med school, and they want to get a better handle on how to deal with people who are living in public housing. What kind of problems are they more likely to have than anybody else, and how can they serve them better? So all kinds of things like that. It's really gratifying to hear and see the response that's coming from folks who've seen the film.
All right, David, always talk to people about, since this is a business show, talk a little bit about the idea of how to take a dream and get it to VPM, PBS to get to TV.
Well, I think VPM, I obviously cannot speak for them, but my sense is that they're always interested in good stories that are well told. And so we pitched them on this idea, 2 years ago, I guess it was, and they said, yes, we're interested in supporting that. And so they provided all of the production funding for it, and they're handling the distribution of it, from now on. So I think, the idea, if you have an idea for a program and it's a solid program and you can prove that you can actually pull it off, and it wasn't just walk in the door and and they hand you a check, they did a pretty thorough vetting of us to make sure that we could deliver as promised. But I think they're always interested in good stories, and I think the key to it, if you're looking from a business perspective about how to do this, it would be, anticipate all the questions and answer them before they're asked, and think of all the different angles of, what challenges you're going to have in telling the story and getting the story to screen, what it's going to cost, and anticipate all those and explain it carefully, and then explain the need for it. What good is it going to do in the community? What's the potential for it? And I think folks will be interested in hearing those kinds of stories.
All right, David Powers, Bell Tower Pictures. So you guys are in with us next week. It's the Meet the Cast. Super excited here to hear from you and some of the folks who were in the documentary. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, that's next Tuesday.
Right. I just got a text while we were talking from Vaughn. He can't speak very well right now, although I did have a conversation with him on the phone the other day, and he's kind of muffled, and you could tell he's working hard to make himself understood. But he just sent me a text because I told him I was going to do this radio bit with you here, and he sent me a text, and he's anxious to share. So I'm sure he'll be on with us next week.
All right, appreciate it. One last time, how can people go on and support what you're doing?
I think the easiest way to tell folks is to go to the Bell Tower Pictures Facebook page. So on Facebook, Bell Tower Pictures, and there'll be a link there. There is a link there to connect to the GoFundMe campaign and make a donation.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for giving us a call. Give our best regards to Vaughn, and we will talk to you. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Great. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thanks now. Time's 2:41 on the mic with Mike Lee here with us. It's the two mics today. We're going to take a break, and when we come back on the other side, talk a little bit about what Mike Lee has going on and talk about some issues and topics of the day. If you'd like to give us a call, 804-778-8888.
Do you want a crystal clear picture of your finances? Dial 804-601-0532 and schedule your free financial review with Crystal Clear Financial Solutions. Find us online at crystalclearfinancialsolutions.com.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I'm Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. You need to make a strategic decision about which state, city, and neighborhood you choose to start your business. Your business location determines the taxes, zoning laws, and regulations. Research the best place. You need to register your business, pay taxes, obtain licenses and permits from your location of choice. Location should depend on your target market, partners, and preferences. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Hey, this is Mike King, the host of On the Mic with Mike, and I'm here with
Chef Robin Carter.
Chef, I hear you got some exciting news for our listeners.
Yes, available on our website right now at carolinagirlcatering.com is the holiday menu. It's available for pre-order until the 22nd, and then pickups and deliveries will be available the 23rd through the 25th.
And what can people expect on the holiday menu?
We have vegan options as well as non-vegan options. Everything on there is a side. We have potatoes, we have vegetable sides, charcuterie spreads along with boards available on there as well, handmade pies. carolinagirlcatering.com.
Hey guys, this is Robin with DB Arcade Commercial Video and Photography. If you need creative visual content for social media or traditional advertising, then we're the team you want working for you. We create custom ROI-driven videos and photography for your business, no matter what products or services you offer. We've worked with local newspapers, gyms, real estate agents, financial advisors, clothing companies, restaurants, and more. For more information, check us out on our website at db-arcade.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day at 1 p.m.
That's what I do!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the leading business program in the area. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with us. Mike Lee's hanging with us today.
Yes, sir.
We're talking. We had a great conversation with a friend of yours, Troy.
Mm-hmm.
Heather Bailey's here. So, Mike Lee, what's going on in the news that piques your interest?
Well, to be honest, I haven't looked at the news since last Tuesday or Wednesday. So, but what I'm intrigued by, I was talking to Mr. Green about that, is where we're going with the recounts. So,
if you have not heard or dealt with the news since last Tuesday or Wednesday, do you know that it's still going on, or you just...
I know this. The only reason I know it's still going on because I heard it on this channel. We were listening to the news not too long ago, and they were talking about the recount. They were talking about the recount. I believe it was in Georgia. I know that's still going on, maybe the second time. I knew they were trying to do an audit, so that's intriguing to me. It's interesting to see where that's going to take us. Maybe you can help me. Y'all can help me out with this. I know the electoral college thing is supposed to happen in December, right? A lot of people don't know about that.
I know about it
because you're a very smart man.
Well, I try and tell my wife that, but
right.
Most of the time she don't listen.
So I wonder how this recount is going to affect that, the electoral college, when they actually have to come together and actually place their vote.
When you watch a sporting event and they just start calling timeouts at the end, and there's really no reason to call timeouts, but you're just acting like you're trying. That's what this is, what we're going through right now.
But I feel like this. What a lot of people who don't necessarily pay attention to the political process, recounts. It's not anything new. It happens every year.
It happens all the time.
But it's just not under the microscope, right? And
right.
This year it happens.
And that's what happened. So more people came out. When they say people are not into the process, or people are apathetic or lazy or whatever, people don't feel that there was something that really caused them to get fired up. On one side or on the other side, either side, people got fired up and people came out. And so what happens is no one likes to be on the losing side of anything. That's what makes America great. And even during all of this, people still wake up every day and say, I want to go to America.
Yeah.
With all of the stuff that we're going through, Americans go other places and visit. Or you'll get people who go there and live, but the numbers are not what they are, people wanting to come to America. We'll come through this and we'll make it through. But this process, people have gotten to be more engaged and watching. The question is, what's going to happen to the CNNs, not so much CNN, but MSNBC and Fox, when all this dies down from the business standpoint, from the money standpoint, where people are so engaged, watching it all the time, and then January 20th comes, and we go back to what life was like 4 years ago, and all the other years where government and the president did their thing, but it wasn't something that we were engaged in every 15 minutes.
True indeed. But I think there'll be some semblance of that if the Senate, if there's a split Senate in the presidency. So
that's true.
So if that's split, I think it'll still be news. It'll still be
because if it goes the other way and the Democrats are holding everything,
right?
Lord knows.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey,
floodgates will be open.
yes, they will be, because
Yes,
there may not be any checks or balances
Right.
to have or what people want to do.
Yeah, and you know, me personally, I believe in a bipartisan government, right? So I think no one party and no one power should have everything, right? Because there has to be a checks and balances. So I mean,
But how about if the people speak and say, you were so not helpful
Yeah.
that we're going to punish you and put you on the sidelines for a while and make you sit out this time. We're going to put you on timeout.
You know, that's difficult for me.
If the
'cause-
people have spoken.
True. I do agree to that. So if that happens, you're right. The people have said so. But I believe
So then the country gets whatever it's got coming.
True.
Because the people spoke. The people asked for Donald Trump.
They did. And they voted so.
Yes,
That's
and they
it.
voted so.
Yeah.
And the last 4 years, they've gotten somewhat what they've asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And this election came, and a lot of those same people came back and said, I want 4 more.
But you know, even that can be, depending on who you are, that can be an argument too. Because if you talk about the people, you talk about the popular vote.
Yes, which means
Donald Trump didn't receive the popular vote.
That is true.
He got the electoral college, which you have to respect, because that's what we'll build on. We'll build on a just society, you know, democratic society, and that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, Biden so-called won the popular vote and the electoral college, right? So I guess that makes sense. And even within that, I'm still saying there has to be a balanced government. But I respect what you're saying. It's the first time I heard it put like that. If the people say so, that's what we have to go for, right?
because you had every and that's why when they had Stephanie Rizzi here last week, when you want to run for office, it costs money because
Yes.
and does that pollute the process? Because you could have the best message, but if you can't raise money, people can't hear it.
Yeah, it's about that machine.
It's like the power of this radio. We're here from here in Richmond to Tidewater, to Farmville, to Charlottesville. So the sound of the people hearing the voice, you're able to go out. But there's a cost to be here to do this. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of advertisers and shout out to Tom Childry, the credit card guy, because they allow us to be on the air that allows me to pay the radio station to be able to bring the program to you. So if you are running for office, you have to be able to raise money. And now sometimes you have to make deals with people that you may not want to, because you cannot make every deal with every person to give them what they want, because sometimes money's tied to it, because at some point they're going to want a favor.
You got lobbyists coming to you trying to get the job done. Yeah, you're right. But to me that's the dark side of politics, right? Those are deals that are being made, you know, handshakes and deals that are being made, or whatever level, whether it's a local level, where, you know. So that is the other side of
That
politics.
is the other side. My wife thinks I'm naive, because I think that people go to politics to make a difference. And then when like to be the president, you run and you spent money galore. People, you know, you made promises all along the way. You're going to do this. You applied for a job that you really didn't know the details of the job description.
True indeed.
And then and you told everybody what you were going to do. And you win.
Yeah.
And the day comes and they open the books and they say, here you go.
Yeah.
You told all these people.
This is what I do for you.
And now you look at the books and you're going, how do I make that happen?
Can't do it.
Exactly. So what do we do now? So I went to the process with every good intention, and now I'm realizing, and then so I have to talk to that guy over here to connect these people to do that, and then all of a sudden maybe I get lost in the mix somewhat.
You know, I think a part of it is what you say you're going to give to people, or how you address the people and how you speak to the people, right? And who your audience is too, because there are some people who are going to expect what you told them or not. They're going to try to take it, right? So I think there should be a change in how we move as far as politics, right?
Okay.
It has to be understood that one man can't do anything. I was talking to my guy about this the other day, and you know, he was talking about what Obama didn't do when he was in office, right?
Okay.
And my thing to him was, we have to understand where the Senate was when Obama was in office, right?
True.
And we have to understand where the Senate was when Trump was in office as well, which bodes well if you're a Republican, right?
Yes.
And vice versa. So that's what it's about, too. It's about aligning yourself. If you're going to push a vote, if you're in a certain political party, it's putting the right people in place so those people are voted for on both sides. What we tend to think about right now is the presidency. It's yes, who's president is important, but guess what's more important?
The
Who's
people.
senator? The people, right?
The people are close to you.
Absolutely. So
school board, city
Yes.
council, all the
Right.
people who are local.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people don't necessarily think about who you vote for locally. They couldn't tell you who's on the city council.
By
They couldn't tell
living-
you who's on school board. Right?
So we've lived a lot of places.
Yeah.
Over my lifetime, we've lived a lot of places. Most of the places didn't know or were connected to what the president did on a daily basis until we lived in Gaithersburg, Maryland. And then the news talked about what the president's itinerary was
Playing
for
golf,
that
right?
day.
Yeah.
And then you're like, so these people here care about what the president is doing on a daily basis. I think what we're going to do as a country is maybe going back to that, its guidance, but Donald Trump has changed the way the government, the president interacts with people. Now, Obama was good with the, social media aspect of it. But Donald Trump now I can just go directly to the people and tell the people. I don't need a filter of the media.
Twitter.
Because no matter what a media organization says, they're fair, balanced, and I'm not biased, they're going to give it to me straight.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You're going to get some lean one way or the other. And so from a technology standpoint, we're going to be different than we were before because we've seen what it looks like. So what we used to do to press out the White House briefings, they're going to do all those things, but there's not going to be any kind of, a problem with the next president or presidents after tweeting things or letting us know on the social media side what they're thinking.
And that's fascinating.
That
to me.
is.
Just you saying that to me, I have to think, well, if the president-elect Biden, will he be a guy who hits Twitter?
Right.
Before he actually speaks to the people, right? And I mean by a press conference, right? So Trump changed the game.
He
with
did.
that.
I mean, he changed the
power
game.
because of that.
Because I remember a thing where they said they went to Obama and they were like, they wanted to take his phone.
Yeah.
And he gave up his phone. Well, they wanted to take Trump's phone. And
not going to have it.
He didn't. And so now it's going to be the president has the ability to go to the mainstream media, or he can just go to Twitter and put it out there, and it's a message to the people, and everybody gets it at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's not, I had to watch the news to get it or hear the newscaster say this. This came directly from the person who's in charge.
And where I come from, my family always talk about the power of the tongue, right? But whoever is your president, the leader of the free world, right? You have so much power. Literally, you can say something, and it goes all around the world. It has the power to divide, or it has the power to bring people together, right? That's
a powerful thing.
For one
Ladies
person.
and gentlemen, it's been the two mics, the times 257. Oh, you know what I had to say? So I was corresponding with Amber last week, and I asked a question, and she says to me, basically, why don't you hit Mike Lee up?
Yeah.
Why are you asking me?
Yeah.
Just go to him and check on his availability.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, well, it's easier. You can sit there and see what I'm saying.
Right.
Talk a little bit really quickly about your correspondence with people being a sight-impaired person.
So that's a part of me going to that school for the blind, right? The last time I went, I got an iPhone. So on my iPhone, in the accessibilities, they have like a voiceover. So everybody can turn it on, but nobody really looks at it because they don't need it. So voiceover allows me to utilize Instagram, allows me to use Facebook, allows me to use all my emails, allows me to text. So everything I do, you text me, you hit me up, and I can hear everything.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you can get in touch with Mike Lee Inspires.
Yeah.
Let folks know how they can.
MikeLeeInspires.com. You just go to MikeLeeInspires.com. If you go to the bottom, if you want to contact me through Instagram, you can press the little logo, press the link. You can see my Instagram. You want to hit me through Facebook, you hit me through Facebook. If you want to hit me through LinkedIn, you can contact me through LinkedIn. So All my information is up there, so if you're looking to contact me, book me for anything, MikeLeeInspires.com.
One of Mike with Mike here, the two mics it's been today. It's been an outstanding show. Troy Bauer was here. We had Heather Bailey, host of Sparrows. We're here with you daily. Tomorrow's show, Tom Childry, the credit card guy, is here. Friend of the program, Lamit, the guy, is here. Michelle Martello is here, going to be talking about small business. And attorney Lakshmi Chawla will be here talking about the legal system. On the Mic with Mike, we bring you the best and brightest here in the area. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. As I always say, shout out to my wife as soon as this is over. On my way home. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have to check out Hanley Watches. We are the official watch timepiece for On the Mic with Mike. HanleyWatches.com. They just dropped the HV model, and it's outstanding. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll do it bigger and better. Thanks now. Take care.
WJFN Chester, 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and AM 820.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com.